So I had to go ahead and just come back to the podcast because my phone does a lot of weird stuff lately. And I don't really have time to play with it right now. I ain't in the mood. And that kind of leads me to a couple topics I want to talk about. So first, how's everybody feeling? Because I've been feeling like the energy is kind of seeming depressed and like stressed and a lot of pressure. This season the energy is very intense because it's a pressure filled time, and it's a financially straining time as well. And everybody doesn't have it like they want to have it, and sometimes we feel pressures to get this gift for this person, get that gift for this person, and everybody isn't always able to do that, especially for our own children and our significant others and our family members, close family members. So that can be stressful and depressing, that you're not where you want to be financially, and that can have a toll on your spirit. But I want to talk about that, and it comes back to authenticity and your human experience and the duality of life, which is, there's love and light and the positivity and the being able to overstand or oversee situations from a higher perspective. But there's also that, more per se darker side, whereas, there is negativity, there may be dark thoughts or negative thoughts, or you may have lower emotions as well, that you need to honor those as well. And there's nothing wrong with being able to express those, or be true to yourself. Sometimes I feel like we sugarcoat things, or we try to like positive our way out of situations, and sometimes it's okay to be able to see something from a higher perspective and forgive and forget or do whatever. But sometimes you really do need to honor your emotions and just be like, that pissed me off, or that really irritated me, or I hate how this happens, or I don't like this, or and in life I feel like I have a lot of repressed disappointment, a lot of repressed anger, a lot of repressed things, because I always try to be positive and be nice and be generous and be helpful and be this, all the positive aspects of self. And you know what I mean? That comes with a lot of my upbringing, but it doesn't really matter because I love who I am, but I also have to honor the other side of myself too. And like when things happen that irritate me or piss me off, I'm getting to a point where now I'm just keeping it real. And it's like, bro, that's effed up. Like, call it what you want to call it, but like I just don't like how that is. And it, people may think it's small, but simple stuff like Secret Santa at work, bruh. I was like, man, I already just had a feeling. I'm like, man, people finna be cheap, and I'm trying to be, thoughtful. And I just got to the point like, I'm not finna go crazy like I usually do, because I just have a feeling. And lo and behold, my Secret Santa didn't even get the freaking person right. She got a gift for the person I had, card and all, with the other person's name on it. So, and then she didn't even come to the little brunch thing we had at work. So I'm at the table, everybody done exchange their gifts, and I'm the only person without a gift. And that happened. And I'm like, when I first started my spiritual journey, I probably would have tried to be like, oh, this is the meaning behind this and that. But I was like, you know what? I just want to honor my feelings right now. That pissed me off. That irritated me. And it's like, sometimes you just want to say like, things happen in your life that really go with the quote or the phrase, life isn't fair. And it's just like, you always are that person. Like, say you're in school, I was always the smart person in the group, and I was always the one that did all the work while everybody else kind of like got a free ride out of it. Or say you're the generous person, like, but you always surround by people who are scavengers, or trying to, be freeloaders. Or say you're the nice person, but you always end up getting the short end of the stick. And it's kind of just like, hey y'all, so I'm riding with my husband, and yesterday we had like a fender bender. Not really, his car was parked and the car ran into him and kind of messed up his truck, whatever. But we were just talking about life and like how, things are gonna always happen, and it's up to us to really just, there's a lot of things in this world that keep us depressed, oppressed, repressed, miserable, stressed. And there's gonna be things that make us happy, joyful, blissful. And it's like up to us to, honor the feelings when we going through stuff. Life happens, and honor that stuff. We get knocked down, but don't let it keep you down. Find a place where you can, see the silver lining, see the light at the end of the tunnel, see the ground in gratitude, look at the small little things in life that, pull you out of that space. Because what this new spiritual movement is doing is making people feel like, you're not spiritual, or you're not aligned, or you're not woke, or you're not this, if your life isn't perfectly blissful all the time. And that to me is unrealistic. That's a fantasy reality. And I get it. A lot of people are doing it out of survival, and they don't even realize, they're dissociating a little bit too much, which I don't have anything against dissociation, but that's a whole nother video I've already made. But to the point where it's like they're not in the present moment. They're not in the reality. And also there's this idea that being in the present moment means like you're not healed either. And it's not that. It's just that you haven't been taught or maybe understand that, or just like we're losing a lot of the ancestral survival skills that we grew up with. And it's like I'm a balance of yes, thrive and put yourself in environments where you feel happy, joy, and bliss, and not stress all the time, but also understand that surviving is a big essential key to being in this world, because there's always going to be negative energy around. There's always going to be dense energy and people with evil intentions, or whatever you want to say. There's always going to be that. There's duality in life. Yes, we're moving towards away from there, but there's still that. And in that transitional phase of this world in the new season, we need to understand that it's not always going to be peachy keen, you know what I'm saying? So being aware of that and being able to survive the ups and the downs, not just one or the other. And oh yeah, we were also talking about like just respecting people's freedom of choice, because at the end of the day, yeah, we're going to always have like, the people who are considered woke and people who are not, and just, having these deep conversations, and people are going to always kind of want to put their beliefs onto you. But what we all have to come to this understanding is that your belief system is your stability, what sustains you, your foundation, and what sustains and keeps you centered and balanced in life is not going to always work for somebody else. And we have to learn how to respect the differences. Everybody creates their own belief systems that help them feel better about themselves, that empower and motivate them and make them feel good about it. But it's like at the end of the day, a person can say, oh, I'm a vegan, and they can be vegan for many reasons, maybe for health, immunity, for their immune system, for the pollution or whatever they have put in their mind or beliefs that help sustain them and being a good person. But at the end of the day, what if they still get sick? Or then you have spiritual influencers who are kind of only depicting their life in a perfect light, whereas they may still have issues. That's why I was watching the Hood Healer, and she showed her birth story a little bit, and she still ended up having like complications. And that transparency is what we need, because it's like, even though she's spiritual, even though she's into ancestral, altar work and all these other things, life still affected her. But it's about, how did she allow that to impact her? Because at the end of the day, the mind is really the thing that we have to get through. That's the longest journey, that we have to like be able to break down all the narratives that disempower us, that hold us down, that keep us stuck in misery, stress. Because at the end of the day, the root of a lot of things is not the action or the behavior. It's more of the stress that we associate or we couple with it. Like a lot of times people are going vegan, become vegan because they feel like a shame or guilt or pressure to be vegan, to be considered conscious or woke or this or that. And really, you're depriving yourself of a joy, of a comfort that makes you feel at home, makes you feel grounded, makes you feel this or that. And I know I'm talking about like that veganism a lot, but it's nothing against vegans at all. But it's just something that's quick and easy for me to think of to bring examples. But it can be anything. It can be, somebody who don't want to wear Bath and Body Works lotion anymore, but they really love that scent. That scent is aromatherapy to them. We have to redefine spirituality and understand that what people have labeled as spiritual is not just spiritual anymore. I always talk about God's grace to the abandoned race. Listen to that episode, but understand that what we define as spiritual is spiritual. Spiritual is anything that uplifts your spirit and makes you feel good. Do what makes you feel good. But I do have a moral compass. Don't do anything that steals somebody else's joy or, their free will. Don't hurt anybody. Don't go around sexually assaulting people. We all got common sense, and I'm going to keep reiterating that. But at the end of the day, do what makes you feel happy. You want to eat meat, wear cologne, wear perfume, wear lotions that have quote unquote toxins in it. Wear products that do have silicones and sulfates in it. You want to believe in Jesus, you want to believe in ancestors, like, let people believe what they want to believe, but it's about not necessarily trying to convert everybody and debating and push your beliefs on other people, and just letting people be free in who they want to be. You want to be quote unquote ratchet, ghetto, hood, whatever people have labeled you. That helps you with your energy. At the end of the day, energy is currency, and energy is our power, and you can't let people exploit, manipulate, control, or oppress your energy. You have to realize what is your energy for you, and how does that uplift you? How does that keep you moving? Because the more and more you allow people to micromanage your energy, the more and more your quality of life is going to be stolen and stripped from you. And that's what we're trying to get out of, the spiritual oppression, to get it more into the spiritual liberation. That's all about that coming out of the spiritual closet. But also, don't get sucked into people manipulating your energy to be something, into a path that's not for you. Because that's another thing. Like, understand there are many ways to express your energy without being this or that. And I'm not going to get into it, but just be mindful of ways that your energy can be exploited, manipulated, or used and controlled to keep you in one lane, when knowing you could be in any lane. So that's all I kind of want to talk about. Just understand that life is always going to happen. That's the duality of life. There's light and there's dark. But the power is being able to come back to center, to come back to light, even in the midst of darkness, and to also honor, the darkness when it arises, when you get knocked down, being able to just stay there for a moment, honor that emotion, but then get back up. You know what I'm saying? Getting a spare tire doesn't mean like soaking it over for hours, or getting that fender bender doesn't mean soaking over for days. It means, okay, be pissed about it, be angry about it, but now what are you going to do? Are you going to just stay in that energy, or are you going to do something to get out of that energy? The day before Christmas, I was going through my own emotions and feeling depression and a lot of things, but it's like I realized that energy wasn't even all mine. It was a collective energy, and we have to normalize and start realizing that we can cut the cords of the collective energy that makes us stay stuck in stress and worry, or makes us stay self-sacrificing to feel some level of sense of worth. We didn't come here to be miserable, and it's okay to be a healer, a light worker, a mother, a father, whatever, and make sacrifices, but that's a conscious choice we choose to make. We don't have to do it to the point where our energy is constantly being used to uplift everybody else. Our energy is currency, and you don't have to give it away for free. Understand that and know that you can heal people and still be able to maintain your energy and have joy and bliss, and every day doesn't have to be work, and that's the balance that we're all trying to get through. Balance, 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 balance. Grace, 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 grace. Those are two words that have been powerful for me since the pandemic, and it's still, I feel like it's going to be a word that's going to ripple on for years, and that's something we all just have to grasp onto. But yeah, as always, keep God first. Peace, love, light, and healing energies. Be open to receiving them. Peace out.